Greetings, comrades, and welcome to the Rad Gaming Podcast. I'm Pescador.
And I'm Jemshi. And in this episode of the podcast, we actually have a guest here with us, Spazee McGee.
How you guys doing? Today we're going to be talking about new game releases like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Days Gone, and World War Z, as well as Apex possibly taken away from the development of Titanfall 3 and Battle Royales and how they are affecting the single-player market.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Cento Fiore. Cento Fiore is a lifestyle fashion brand that sees beauty and cultural heritage and always strives to offer timeless and elegant style. Visit cento-fiore.com to join the family. That's cento-fiori.com.
So guys, let's get this multiplayer session started. Let's press play. So I see your shirt, Spazee. The Stark, I like that. Stark Wolf. Are you going to watch Game of Thrones this Sunday?
Of course I'm going to watch Game of Thrones this Sunday.
3.5 hours? I meant to say 1.5. Excuse me, I'm talking about Endgame now. Jeez, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, right? Oh my goodness gracious.
But so the episodes are supposed to be getting up to 3 hours, aren't they? Towards the last 3, I think.
From what I understand, they're supposed to go the first two are an hour, and then they're supposed to go an hour and a half, and then the last one's supposed to be longer than that. I'm not sure how much longer.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to everything. I won't spoil anything.
Oh, of course.
But definitely. Yeah.
So Endgame is 3.5 hours long?
Yes.
Jesus.
Did you know they actually online...
Movie that long?
No, Titanic? Wasn't Titanic?
Titanic was
yeah, but I haven't seen that
movie. Let's look it up. You haven't seen Titanic? What is wrong?
I've seen all the clips separately, but I haven't seen it all at once.
That is like every guy's first nude scene in a movie, all right?
Yeah. All right.
That's at least at my age, I don't know.
I think you might be right, to be honest. I honestly can't remember another one. But
Titanic is 3 hours.
No, but if you look online, they actually have a guide to go to see Endgame, and they have times in which you can use the restroom during your 3.5 hour movie. They have spots that you're you can go at, I think it was 55 minutes in. There's one at a minute 4.
You know?
Someone did it.
Titanic was 3 hours and 15 minutes long, and
dang, it's so close.
They had a intermission in between it. I remember when I went. My mom took me to the theater to watch it 3 times with my grandma.
3 times?
Yes, 3 freaking times.
3 times. Jesus.
So then So then I remember there was a scene. And I think it was the first time we went and seen it. And the scene where the boat's just going up. Sorry, I'm ruining this for you, Jamish.
I know how it ends.
Jamish. I got your name wrong. Jamish. You're changing your name now. So as the ship's rising up and the people start falling, well, there's a part where a guy hits the rail. Ooh. And literally, I can't remember how old I was when this came out. I was probably, I don't know. Here, let's see. It was 97. Yeah, so I was 7 years old. So, the guy hits the bar, and I literally go, "That's gotta hurt!" As loud as I could. And my mom's grabs my mouth real quick, and people, everybody is crying in the theater, and they all just turn and look at me.
Isn't that the worst?
I'm just laughing, Oh my God, it was freaking phenomenal.
What was really funny, and I saw this movie, Us. Did you see that movie? It just came out not too long ago. It's a thriller made by, what's his name?
Yeah.
Peele? I forget his first name.
It's supposed to be horror, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie. There was a part in there I cracked up. I was laughing, and everyone was like, what are you doing, dude? This is not to laugh at, But it wasn't. It was I
heard
he
it
said
wasn't
something
as scary as the first one that they made. Because isn't this part of a quote unquote series?
Yes, I believe it's part of a series. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it was funny to me. There was a lot of scenes that were actually really funny. It wasn't scary at all, and it was more psychological. You had to really honestly think about everything. It was pretty cool. I actually really like the spin at the end, but I'm not going to ruin it for anyone as well. But it's a pretty good movie. You should stop. You can see it if you haven't.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that just starts laughing uncontrollably in the theater. I'm okay with just if everybody else is oh, that guy's laughing too much, I'm just well, I can't help it.
What was the name of that? Get Out. That was the original.
Yes.
Get Out was the original, and I heard that was really, really good, and I never got to get around to watching it.
Wait, so Us is a
I didn't get out to watch Get Out.
Get Out, or
I'm not 100% sure. I just know it's directed by the same individual.
yeah, I know it's another one of his.
Yeah, it's one of his movies. I think they're in the same fashion, but I don't think it's like a
Continuation, or
I think he's like trying to release it in like a maybe a trilogy. I don't know, but it's not technically a trilogy. Like what was a good example? All the movies that had. Here, let's see. What was the name of his?
Oh, I think it's supposed to be kind of ambiguous. It looks like whether or not that they're in the same universe or not.
I don't believe that they are, but I mean the plots were two different things. I mean, but it could. That's what I don't know.
Yeah, but anyways, what I was talking about was like the movies that Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright did the screenplays for, like Hot Fuzz. What was the other one? The zombie one. Gosh, I can't remember it off the top of my head. Here, let's look.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Thank you. Hot Fuzz. The World's End. And then there was, I think there was one more. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead.
I can't remember.
I think maybe that was it.
Could be.
But anyways, they were a unspoken trilogy of sorts. So the only thing that connected all three of those movies is the ice cream bar that they ate and liked in every single movie.
Oh, right.
I like when people do that stuff. They like put something like a little breadcrumb behind that each one takes along with them. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, what was it called? It was I'm trying to figure out the name of the ice cream that it was. Yeah, it was Cornetto. Cornetto ice cream. That's what it was.
Does that play significance? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with it, to be honest. I don't remember the ice cream at all.
No, it's literally like their dilly bars, I guess would be the best way to put it. It's just a ice cream that's pretty famous and
over
in the UK and stuff.
Now that we're talking about zombies in general, Days Gone and World War Z, which is pretty cool. I know that have you really seen Days Gone?
Days Gone to me looks very promising if they can pull it off. I heard, and this is the only news that I've seen so far, is that I heard that they were the first press release that they did for it showed a bunch of zombies and stuff like that, and then I heard from a recent demo that possibly like they can't handle all those zombies.
The frame rate? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Ooh. I think it's something like that. So I don't know. So I mean, it could be could be good, it could be bad. I think the interesting thing that they're doing with this release, though, is that they're putting it out. Who developed it again? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I honestly can't either. Jemshi? Is that? I see his head spin.
Days Gone?
Yeah.
What you said?
SIE
Bend Studio.
Yeah, but is there another studio that owns them, or Sony? Okay, so it's literally it's just one of their conglomerates. So what they're doing apparently when they're releasing it, and they're allowing people to get their money back if it sucks. Like if they don't like it, they're giving them a 48 hour return policy. If I'm not mistaken.
Why can't Anthem do that for their fans, man? That game just tanked right off the start. But no, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Anthem didn't do too well. No. And but Anthem, I was really, really, really excited about Anthem. I was I'm a huge freaking Iron Man fan, so I was going to be able to, and then I really, really like Destiny. I really like the original Destiny and some parts of Destiny 2. And so I was really excited about that game coming out. And when I played the demo, it just felt really dry.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't. It felt like it was something that I already experienced. It wasn't something new. Now, don't get me wrong. The gameplay in it was phenomenal. All the new, the flying and everything like that.
Yeah, but it was nothing new though. I mean, it felt new.
It was a beautiful game.
But wasn't new. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I played this game before. Just added a little bit of flying.
It was like they were just trying to get in on the market. You know, that Warframe and Destiny created at the end of the day. So it didn't do too well. And I've heard that the development is all but halted as far as they were supposed to put out a roadmap here recently, and now they've delayed the roadmap, and it's not looking good for them. A lot of people are afraid that they're going to drop it like they did Mass Effect Andromeda.
That's true.
I would be surprised if they did, because I feel like at this point they kind of already realize that it's like, are they going to really be making any profit anymore? Like, is it time better spent making another game? Like, I don't know. I'm not a game development studio, but I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of things that they're probably considering.
I am starting to hate the whole take your money and run kind of when they're doing that. Like, it's one thing when they do it with like an early access game. When you buy an early access game, you are kind of, you know what you're getting yourself into. They have the full legal right to take off if they think that the game is not going to develop any further, or that they've lost all their money, or if they just want to plain just take your money and run. You sign up for that. They are legally, like, you know, in the clear on all that. But when they do a full release and they do that, that's kind of lame, to say the least. And by the way, I did pull it up. There is a article that I'm looking at right here, and it does say that Days Gone has the 48-hour refund that they're going to do. It's a 48-hour window for the full refund on new releases. What?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just any new release?
Video game retailer GameStop is offering players 2 days to decide if they like newly released games. If they don't, customers can get a full refund in the form of store credit.
That is a feeble attempt of GameStop right now. They are grasping at anything.
They are grasping at straws, but I'll take it.
Yeah, that's. If you could beat it in 2 days and turn it, good for them.
Free rental.
Yeah, that's basically what. That's why I went and worked at GameStop, man. Because the thing that got me, they're like, you could take any game, take it home, play it, bring it back, so you can give a better, you know, your actual honest opinion about a game to, you know, someone that comes in, a customer. Yeah. So I used to do that all the time. But now that GameStop does that, I'm going to be like, I'm taking off of work for 2 days in a row, and I'm going to play a game all the way through. And be like, I don't like this game. Take it back. You know?
That's really weird. That, like, it's almost like they brought rentals back. I feel like that's something
Blockbuster.
Yeah, I feel like I miss the smell of Blockbuster. You guys remember that smell? It was like it was like the mix between new CD case and cat pee. It was just like right in that sweet spot.
Because you're like, you know, somebody's taking this home, and their home, like, the smells came back to the store.
I miss the good
but
days.
I think it's funny that they haven't, like, rentals are kind of done away. Like, I don't even think they have, like, free trial downloads. Like, you can demo the game. It doesn't. Like, I feel like they don't really do demos as much either. Because, like, demo would be the only way you could really do rentals nowadays.
Yeah, it's a paid subscription now. Like, it's like Gamefly. Gamefly still around?
Gamefly? I honestly don't know. That is
because that's what Gamefly used to do. You just like rent a bunch of games. They make you play a flat rate. I almost said fat rate. I don't know why. They make you play a flat rate, and then a month, and then you just play as many games as you can and return them. So
Gamefly is still a thing, apparently.
Holy crap!
Very much a thing.
Wow.
So I figured until they completely get rid of any like discs or cartridges or whatever, the game, whatever game company out there decides to make for their specific console, until they completely get rid of those, I don't think that the digital market will completely take over. So there's still going to be a want and need for people who want to have the physical disc. And I think a lot of people out there, I would say probably about, 50%. I wouldn't go that. So I would say, let's say about 30% of the gaming market doesn't actually have internet access, or doesn't want to have internet access to play their games.
Right. Yeah. So I can see how that would be, because that's annoying sometimes for me when like your internet's just like nothing you can do about it. Your internet just sucks that day and you can't play. And you're like, well,
guess I got to go outside. Oh my god.
there's guys that I know that live out in the middle of nowhere, you know, and
they have dial-up
internet. Their internet literally runs off of their water tower in the middle of their town, and they have it like running from there. Like they put like a satellite on top of their water tower.
That's
and, like,
awesome.
That's their internet. Yeah, and they literally are like, man, like I can't wait to play that game. And I was like, what are you talking about, dude? That came out like 2 days ago. And they're like, yeah, but it's still downloading.
Oh my god, I didn't think that was that big of an issue anymore. Like for most people,
I mean, if you remember, like growing up, like you would go to midnight releases, you would grab the game.
Do I remember that?
Play, yeah, I mean, like you would freaking you would just go home and play the game with all your friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the last game that I remember doing that was when Gears of War 3 came out, and we all waited. Yeah, we all waited for that midnight release, and we got the midnight release, and we literally all played together, sitting on the couch together and doing co-op, and we beat it that night. Like we stayed up to like, I don't know, it was probably like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Yeah, and we went to sleep, woke up, and then spent the rest of that day doing multiplayer.
Yeah. So the last time Jemshi and I, that's the last person I played a game with, like sitting on the couch side by side. We were playing Rocket League together, like duo kind of thing. But like, I had co-op anymore, man. There's no like good co-op games.
Play now.
Yeah.
The only game that's promising to make a great co-op experience is actually the new Borderlands that's coming out. Borderlands 3.
Which I'm excited about.
And, well, they would be stupid to do otherwise. And I mean, it's the same reason why the Halo community was so mad at 343 is because they killed that couch co-op, and that's what a lot of people loved.
Because everyone focused so much at one point in time on online play, so they're like, let's make a sacrifice. Let's focus most of our efforts of development on online play to make it a really good online play, make it fun. And they're like, let's put the show up to the side.
Which is hilarious. Halo 5, like they were, that was their cop out.
Yeah,
we want higher frames, we want better gameplay.
We'll just drop the go.
And then the freaking servers suck. Like, they're awful. This is somebody that has sat and played the Halo series religiously.
As did I.
I mean, back in Halo 3, I literally had rank like 50 in a majority of the game types. And Halo 4, I was like one of the top ranks as well. I mean, I played it a heck of a lot. And when Halo 5 came out, I mean, it just... the servers.
Do you still have Halo 5?
Yeah, I still have it.
Man, I need to dust that thing off. I haven't.
Well, I think the reason that they started like moving away from couch co-op is most likely just to sell more games. Because like if you have your friends, that's like 4 people off one game sold. Yeah. They'd rather have 4 people buying 4 games total.
But realistically, I mean, let's just say that most people that I knew would buy the game so that they would have it at their house.
Exactly.
I bought friends come over.
I bought an Xbox to play the original Halo for doing that specific thing. My best friend had
parties, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Like, I was so pumped. I played like Halo on Legendary with my friend on his original Xbox. I had a PS1 at the time, like a PlayStation. Sorry, I don't even know how to say PS1. That's how old I am, And I had so much fun playing Halo that entire night on Legendary. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go out and buy an Xbox, and I'm going to buy it just to get Halo. And I did that. That's what I did. And we just played, any friends that came over played. Even my friend that had it would come over to my house, so he didn't have to bring it. We'd sit down and play it. So.
Yep. I mean, Halo was definitely, like, I remember falling in love with that game. I was at my church. I remember I was a kid. I can't remember how old I was exactly, but they had Xboxes set up for the entire youth group, and they had
your youth group was cool. Mine did not.
Yeah. They had them all linked up together, and I remember we were all sitting and we were playing it, and I was like, "What's this? I've never seen a game like this before." They're like, "Oh, we're playing this game called Halo," and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And so I picked up a controller and we played. And I remember that's all we did for the rest of the night, and I was just hooked. I was like, "Mom, I want an Xbox!"
Yeah.
And I remember I got a Xbox, and it was Halo 2 Halo 1 and Halo 2 had already come out, and they'd been out for a couple years already, and I finally got my first Xbox, and I was so excited. And then they released freaking Xbox 360 and like a year or two later after that, and I was so mad. So then I was like, Mom, I want an Xbox 360. And she's like, you just got a new Xbox. I was like, it's not good enough. And I throw my controller. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. You just like snap the console in half on your knee. It's like, no.
I also wanted to talk about World War Z. It sold 1 million copies its first week, which honestly shocked me. I didn't expect it to do so good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what happened there. So
I don't know what happened there.
Well, no, that game literally came out of the blue.
Yeah, it did.
Anything about it?
I just heard about it like 2 weeks ago for the first time.
Yeah. The gameplay looks really good. The graphics look really clean. Some of the things that they're doing with the zombies, like the stack up.
Yeah, the stacking up. Oh,
yeah. Like that's really, 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 really cool. I just don't know if it like has like enough
gameplay potential,
meat to it. Yeah, I mean. I don't know if it's going to... I heard it plays a lot like Left 4 Dead. You have a crew, and you're literally just trying to traverse through different obstacles within this map, and then you reach the end of it, and then
that's what I was told too.
But you progress onto the next map, and it's the kind of the same thing. So it's like, are they going to be as good at keeping that same kind of gameplay loop like Left 4 Dead and all?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Left 4 Dead millions of times over and over.
Oh, but it was so much fun because they had special zombies. I don't even know if they have special zombies in this. I just know that there are a crap ton of zombies running.
Almost.
I was just wondering because all I saw was this massive amounts of zombies just running.
You think of? I think they got like ones that puke, ones that freaking are tanky and stuff like that.
Of course,
we got all the typical quote unquote zombies. I think. What I think they did, though, the reason why nobody heard about it is I think they were just trying to drain that last little bit out of the World War Z series in general, because the book was amazing.
The book was really good.
Yeah, then the movie came out and it sucked.
Well, I read the book after it, so it was fine.
Yeah, I think somewhere along the line somebody was like, I wonder if we can still make a little money out of this. Let's make a video game out of it. And then to top it off, it just so happens that it's right around the release of Days Gone. And they knew people were like hungry for possibly a new zombie game, so they're like they just kind of
be one of those
on
games
that market
that people want to play.
Yeah. But still though, I don't think I still don't think that they're hitting the mark on that. I mean, DayZ tried really, really hard. There was a couple other zombie games that came out that I can't remember off the top of my head. There's one that was released, State of Decay, that was really good.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really good, but then they came out with State of Decay 2, and it had all those bugs and problems and everything like that. I think it was mostly because everybody wanted a multiplayer game or game mode for it, and it was originally a single player game.
Yep.
And I think it messed the game up because I don't think they ever did multiplayer before. So
I liked State of Decay. It's funny you say that because I was actually thinking about picking up State of Decay again. I have State of Decay 2, and I just really wanted to play it again because I know the one time I stopped playing the game is what's the name of the really fast zombie that tears you apart? I can't remember its name now because I haven't played it in forever. But
I can't remember.
I got stuck
to play any of them
out at night one time, and I didn't have any health packs, and I was like, I'll make it back. It's fine. And I have a vehicle, and my vehicle kind of blew up, and then that zombie came after me. I climbed something, and I could not get down because it knew I was up there. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna quit playing now. I just couldn't because it's permadeath. As soon as you die, that character will never ever come back in that game, and I didn't want that to happen. So I was like, all right, power it off. And I haven't played it since, so I guess I got to face reality.
Spawning on, and he's sitting there waiting for you, watching.
I don't know. I'm hoping. I can't remember if it did or did not. But
hey, buddy, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And it would stink, and I don't want to permadeath because this was one of my favorite characters I had. I built that one up from the very beginning. But the point is on this was actually a really interesting fact because on PC it was an Epic Store exclusive game.
What was?
Sorry, World War Z. We're going back to that. I did not mean to segue. State of Decay is not an Epic Store exclusive, but World War Z is.
So it is an Epic Store? exclusive?
Yes, World War Z
only on
is.
PC.
Okay.
I think that's interesting because I know that Epic Games has been like doing a lot of like deals with gaming companies or game development companies. I mean, to like get exclusives on their platform. But I know that recently Steam just kind of released their own like competitive percentage. I think they're doing. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I think they're doing like the same percentage like of that Epic Games is doing. Like for every game sale, they're going to take 12% also, just like. So it's like something super competitive, and I think Epic Games.
So here's the thing: I think a lot of developers were releasing their games on Epic Games for the free advertisement. Fortnite had brought so many eyes upon it so quickly.
Yep.
And so like you're like here's this huge audience that you can promote your game to, and on top of that, making it cheaper, and it's going to definitely take Steam a lot of moving around to be able to compete.
They don't want to lose all those exclusives and start, I think like they don't have Fortnite, so they're like, okay, well, what games do we need to have on our platform?
And it's really funny is you see all these gamers that are really ticked off about it. They're all really, really mad that all these games are starting to go to the Epic Game stores. But as a developer, I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
wouldn't you?
Because it's ridiculous. The prices there are ridiculous to be able to compete. I mean, think of some of the indie games that are getting released out. Remember when indie games like started to get really, really big like a couple of years ago, and then like they freaking blew up and then they just crashed. They kind of started to die off.
Oversaturated.
Yeah, well, not only that,
you downloaded one, you were like, okay, is this going to be good? Or it's kind of
because if it tanked and they didn't do well, I mean, they got so much money taken away from them anyway from releasing on Steam that they really couldn't recover all the money they lost from no one really buying the game, so they couldn't make another game.
Yeah,
so
and I think that's a big reason why big production companies like was it Devolver Digital, or what is that called? Am I right on that? Devolver Digital.
I'm thinking. I'm sorry. I honestly.
Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
Devolver Digital. Yeah, they're a publisher. So essentially, all these smaller game, indie companies are making these games and they're publishing it out to, the people who love indie games in their little community, and all the games that they push out are extremely successful. And so I think that was like the alternative to putting your game on Steam for a lot of these small indie developers, especially for platformers and stuff like that, which is what Devolver Digital is known for.
That kind of works for them because then they stand out as like a reputable game as opposed to being like another indie game. Like, how do they like show that they're reputable, like a game that's worth downloading and playing or purchasing?
And they just do some of the best marketing that I've seen for games. It's all very niche, and like they make like silly little videos to promote every game and stuff like that, and make memes out of it, and that's why they're so successful.
They also got their marketing game down. That's nice.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're getting a nice chunk of the money from it too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love when I'm on Facebook and I see marketing for games, and mostly it's been lately Anthem, which is funny for me because then you go and you can look at the comments, and not a single comment has something good to say about the game.
No,
like it's just funny. Like they think that they're trying to I'll market this game to like put it out there, and like every single person commenting is just like, oh yeah, I remember playing this game, and it was
At least you get Anthem, because I get Best Fiends all the time. I listen to like iHeartRadio and stuff, and all I hear is play Best Fiends, download. I don't even plug them. I'm not even give them a plug. I got so tired of hearing like 9 million people can't be wrong, or whatever the number it is. I don't even remember. I heard this stupid
What's
commercial.
The other one? There's another mobile game that just came out that's like really big. Raid, I think is what it was called. It's like
I don't know if I've heard that one actually.
Yeah, it's like an MMORPG, and it's all online. They're like, it's got PC graphics.
Is it the awesome action trailer like voice too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's definitely got it. It's definitely got it.
I think that's funny. Now that I think about it, the most ads I've seen for games for me has always been mobile games. I don't know if it's just because I'm on my phone more that they target me.
Here's the crazy thing, and a lot of people sleep on mobile games, but mobile games, they're freaking some of the highest grossing games out there. Why? Yep. Because it's easy for somebody to pick up their phone, spend $2 to $5 on a game, and just sit and continuously play it. And I mean, either that or release it free and have ads all over it.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, I think it's also
that's why a lot.
Yeah, like you said.
Here's another crazy thing in the streaming side of everything. Recently, PUBG Mobile, they were offering, if you played PUBG Mobile for a month, they were offering streamers, specific streamers that had a huge reach, $1,000 and up, just to play their game for a month.
Is this recently? You said?
Yeah, this is recently. This is probably. I don't know, probably towards the end of last year.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I heard about that.
Did you hear about D-Live, though?
Yeah.
D-Live, yep. D-Live, we're talking about marketing in general. I thought their marketing scheme was pretty unique in the fact that, so D-Live is another streaming platform, like Twitch, and if you don't know. And basically, they're offering people that actually watch their streamers a chance to get money, like actual money. Or they could trade it in to get, So, if I remember correctly, you have to interact with it. You have to interact. So, you typing in chat and, sending, something. So, I think it's going to cause, tons of spam to go out in general. But, they'll, you keep on
people will try to bot and try to take advantage of that.
So, you just kind of, talk, and then you build up this treasure chest. And basically, this, the screen fills up with the bar of a loading bar, I guess, more or less. Every time you say something or interact, even if you lurk, it eventually goes slowly up, very slowly. But the more you interact, the more you build up. You get a treasure chest, you open it up, you can get, I forget what their currency is, but you can get that. You can either keep it for yourself or you can give it to a streamer.
So what really surprised me with that was seeing PewDiePie make the move, because I always wondered why, because PewDiePie spends the majority of his time talking about YouTube and the algorithm, how broken it is and everything like that.
Yeah.
Well, majority of those bigger YouTubers from, that started around the time that he did, or a little bit after, have already started dipping their toes into Twitch and using that streaming service to kind of get their name out there, because they're making more money doing live streams on Twitch versus doing live streams on YouTube. So I always wondered, why isn't he streaming on Twitch? Why doesn't he do this? I think he was holding out for somebody to develop a platform like this, or they paid him a lot of money.
I was just saying, they paid him, I guarantee they paid him a crap ton of money.
Okay, so, and even funnier to add on top of all that, because I'm a big PewDiePie fan, but actually bought a bunch of his merch and stuff here recently for the 9 million club. So I think the other crazy thing is that he made fun of Ninja and the whole ad thing being put on, over everybody's stream and stuff like that for the New Year's thing. And he
right.
Yeah. He really ragged on Ninja about all that, and it wasn't Ninja's fault, of course. It was just Twitch promoting their biggest streamer and stuff like that. Yeah. They're trying to pull in as many people as they could, to get money off of that. But they were posting on everybody's app to go watch PewDiePie. So literally pulling the same crap on him. So I'm waiting to see if he has anything to say on it. And if he doesn't have anything to say on it, I'm going to put it on the freaking subreddit. I'm going to see if he...
People go crazy.
It's on meme review.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get on. It's gonna get on freaking Lawai, man. I just have.
Lawai
feeling. Yeah.
So
I'll try to plug
I keep getting confused which one's which on the. I know he's got all these meme shows that I keep I'm like, oh yeah, meme review is actually reviewing the memes. Lawai is reviewing his subreddit, which has memes.
And then what was the other one? I think there was one more.
Try not to laugh.
Try not to laugh. So there's all those, which all three of those I'm pretty sure are stolen ideas.
It is running joke as original content. He's just constantly doing the same thing. Someone else.
I honestly really enjoyed PewDiePie's content pre bridge incident PUBG bridge incident with all the the stuff coming out about him.
Stuff.
Yeah, well, just looking back on all that stuff, like all the content that he made in his old studio and him like being outside and interacting with people. Like my favorite video was one of my favorite videos is Get As Many Likes as Dislikes was one of his videos where he's running around screaming, get as many likes as dislikes around wherever he was there in the UK. And then my other favorite one was, what was it? I just had it in the top of my head. I can't
Was
remember.
it one of the likes ones or was it like, this Pokemon Go? I'm trying to think what else he had at that time.
Oh yeah. There was that one. That one was another good one.
His car video where he had like my new car.
Yeah.
Or something.
That there's millions of them, man. But it was all from that. It was all, and I think it was really, really, really solid content. Now he's like kind of recluse back into just doing this thing, which is popular. I completely understand why he would want to do it.
I think it's amazing because I think you kind of like you can rag on him like, oh man, it's such like you're just sitting in your office making videos, but like the amount of money he makes every like day probably is like insane. Just because he posts one video and he probably makes a couple thousand or something. I know I've watched him that he said he's like saving up for like a house in Japan or something.
Yes,
like, he's like
I'm pretty sure he is.
Like I'm sure at this point he's just like, all right, let me just ride this out until I make as much money as I want to, where I can just like live comfortably in Japan, I guess, or wherever he wants, like both, you know, UK or Japan.
Oh no! Now I remember the video. It was So he literally walked around with his VR headset like on, and he was walking around his town there.
Oh, right.
And there were girls doing the modeling on top of this car, and like he's like walking and like he like fills up on the car and like friggin' like lays across it, and like then he like starts like he goes to the ocean and he starts like he like had like a little raft or something, and he starts like trying to like he's like, it's so realistic. But yeah, that was one of my favorites as well. So yep.
Let's get on to the last topic, I guess. And it's Respawn, and they're actually going to be releasing a new season of Apex Legends. And it's supposed to include map changes and a new character, which is pretty interesting. So they are dabbling in, Apex Legends, doing all this new season kind of jazz. They're also invested in doing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So they have two different teams that are separated now, one with Apex and one with Star Wars, that they're not really focusing so much on Titanfall, and they pushed back Titanfall. But honestly, I kind of saw this one coming just because they are... Like, I don't think they expected Apex to be as big as it is. I figured they'd get something out of it, but they didn't expect it to be this big. Like, it's a huge game. They did a really good job with it. But
they did a really good job with the multiplayer in Titanfall 2, so I think that's why it did so well, because a lot of people like the multiplayer in Titanfall 2. Yeah. But I don't think that it literally came out right before I think PUBG released, and that they went into early access. I think that's around when it came out.
I think you might be right, actually.
It kind of got swept under the rug, and so then like people just stopped playing it altogether because the big thing was Battle Royale.
It's funny because it's a spitting image of the Titanfall. Like, I guess it's called a pilot, right? I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, when I played it was a pilot. And when I'd go and fight on the ground, like the emotions are the same, the running's the same, the ziplines are the same too. I mean, like, everything is Titanfall-esque, and I like it. They just took it and made a different game. They did really good with it.
That's kind of what Fortnite did. They had like their game logic already in place, and they just said, "Hey, let's make it into a battle royale."
That was different. They had a single player game that they were going to release.
I know, but it's like,
screw that. We're gonna go do this. Those poor people who invest. I know people who spent $100 on that single player like campaign. Or not single player. It was it was multiplayer. I'm sorry. It could be single player, but their whole campaign thing, the base building and stuff like that for.
You said they invested $100 in it?
Yeah, like there was a starter pack that you could get.
I forgot about that. That's hilarious. I forgot all about that.
So there were people who were literally releasing or spending tons of money on,
kind of like CS:GO. Like they're like, oh, we bought this. Like I bought this game a while back when it first came out, and it was, I don't remember how much. I think I bought it. I didn't buy it for full price. It was like $30 or something like that. I think it was like 60 or something. And then like after everything was going so well with all these free to play games, they're like, CS:GO is now free and it has Battle Royale.
It's free?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, isn't it free?
Is it free?
It was like a month or two ago.
Please check and make sure I'm right.
Oh,
no, it's totally a thing now. It's free to play.
I was like,
I bought it like
paid
a month.
I paid like $40 for that.
That's what I'm saying. It was.
I bought it like a month or two before.
I'm making sure I'm correct. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I haven't played this in a while. I had like a new.
So, what are your thoughts on Star Wars Fallen Jedi or Jedi Fallen Order? Sorry.
Honestly, EA has been doing such a terrible job. I know it's Respawn that's doing this and but just EA has such a terrible rep because with Star Wars,
they're putting the pincers on all their game developers. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's just the fact that like I played all of the previous Star Wars like Battlefronts, and yeah, they were fun. I understand that Respawn had nothing to do with those, but like EA had something to do with it, and it wasn't as good as I thought it was. And I see what Respawn and EA are trying to accomplish with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but I don't know. It could be good, it could be bad, but I know they're not doing multiplayer with this, so it's just going to be a single player game. And I know that they're bringing some new characters and having some old characters in it. I remember quite a few about it, but it just, I don't know. I just don't think it's going to do as well as I want it to do, because I want to have faith in a Star Wars game, but nothing has really come close to what I want it to be.
I guess you're kind of saying is that you'll play it, but you'll probably not be through it.
Yeah, it's kind of like an Anthem for me, maybe. I can see it being like an Anthem. I'm really excited about it, the idea of it.
Hardcore.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like I'll play it before, and it's kind of like bland,
So here's what cracks me up. So EA, they're a $1 billion company in general. So they got tons and tons of employees. All that crap. So I think the biggest thing is, and why their game is so sloppy, is because they're afraid of possibly losing maybe that money and the time that they put out, or they're going to tick off fans enough to where they don't buy a game. I mean, because look at the recent Battlefield that they came out with and how it failed and just completely bombed because they did bad marketing on it, and then it just kind of crashed and burned in general. I think that they're afraid of losing that initial hype versus actually just putting out a good game. Which if they put out a good game, people would continue to stay invested in their company. But they just keep rushing out releases, and that's not a good business model.
They're trying to my opinion is that I think that's true, but I think another factor is that they're trying to kind of compete with free-to-play games where people have to buy most of these like EA games to kind of get into them before you start playing. And they're like, okay, we have to make money, and people have to buy the game and download it. While these free-to-play games, it's so easy to be like, well, it's free-to-play, I'll just download it. And, like Apex Legends, like, okay. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's something like that. Like, they're not focusing too much on free-to-play.
My honest opinion is, just like movies anymore, EA just tries to remake things that's already been done. And yeah, I understand they have new concepts for a lot of their stuff, but it's like they redo a story, they redo a game in general, and it's the same thing you've seen before millions of times. Like, it doesn't feel new. Like, so Cyberpunk 2077 has nothing to do with EA, but I'm really excited about it because it's something completely different. Like, this game is brand new of its kind.
That's why CDK Projekt Red is, that they've been delaying it because they want it to be...
Exactly. They want to put time and effort, but EA doesn't want to do that just because...
Yeah, they don't want to...
They're trying to compete.
People are hungry. I think people are hungry. I mean, they're hungry to be connected to the game that they play. They're hungry to be connected to the game that they play. I mean, look at Master Chief. I mean, that as just an example of a character, or Lara Croft, or just all these big characters. I think people want to be connected, and I think like the game Star Citizen that I'm playing, I think that grew so big. I mean, they are they aren't under anybody. Like, they're literally their own thing. Like, the people who pledge to the game are the ones who fund the game. So, like, you know, they made, I think they're probably pretty close to 100 mil now in total that they've made off of the game, and it's not even fully released yet.
Yeah.
But that's how hungry people are for an experience where you can feel connected with your character in your game, and the story that's around your character, and making your own story. Star Wars Galaxies is a good example of that. Before they released WoW, of course. WoW is actually what killed Star Wars Galaxy. But Star Wars Galaxies, like, my buddy, like, he was really, really, really big into that, and he said the biggest thing for him was the fact that, you know, it wasn't the core gameplay or anything like that. It was the fact that he could literally be anything that he wanted in that world, and there was a working, you know, economy and working just community in general that, you know, all kind of meshed together. So, like, one guy I remember, he said that he was like a medic, and like he literally had people standing in line waiting for him to treat them so that they could get all healed up and buffed up before they go out and do a mission. So he would literally sit there and get credits from in-game players so that he could give them his special buffs that he had. And it's stuff like that, you know, that game developers like CDK, Project Red, they're trying to emulate that feeling of, like I said, of connection.
But if you think about it, EA doesn't have that type of game in their repertoire. I'm just saying, like, they hide behind, and I'm not trying to bash EA. By all means, I love Battlefield. I'm a Battlefield fanatic. I love Battlefield through and through.
Mass Effect was pretty good.
But I'm just saying, like, as soon as EA realized they have something that people want, what they do is they mass produce it, just kind of like Call of Duty did. And I know Call of Duty's not EA, but I'm just saying that, like, they knew Call of Duty when it came out. They're like, oh, we might have something here, so they made another one. And they're like, people are hooked on it. They're like, oh man, I got something, maybe another one. And then they're like, oh, everyone loves this game. Let's just keep on coming out with them every year, changing some things here, changing some things there, and eventually just became the amorphous blob that you see now that Call of Duty is. It's they're just throwing it out there because they know that people will buy it for the name. And I think that's what EA is doing, because, like, why would you reinvent the wheel and spend tons of money on creating a new game that people might not like when you have a franchise that people do like already? You know,
and it cracks me up. That always something that cracked me up in game. Call of Duty is one of the quickest games to be sold too. Like at GameStop, for instance, like, they would pay you like top freaking dollar for a copy of Call of Duty because they knew people were going to come in and buy them like hotcakes as soon as they went on the used rack. And that is something that I never got. It was like, oh, so all these other games that actually have good gameplay are sitting on the rack for $10.
I guess because, like, if you played, like, not to say that you've played one Call of Duty, you played them all, but, like, I guess you know when you pick the game up, you're like, well, I like the other one, I'll probably like this one too.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's like, there is that reassurance that kind of helps. Like, they know when they put that game out, they're like, well, people are gonna like it. You know, that
I think people are okay with a similar experience. I think people are okay with that. I think that they just don't want to continuously buy the same game over and over again. I think Call of Duty would do much better if they were just like, here's Call of Duty X or whatever, you know, and it's like, we're going to release updates like World of Warcraft, you know, and we're going to we're just going to keep it Call of Duty, and it's going to be like Call of Duty Online or something like that, which I think is something that they actually did have at one point.
Like, do a seasons, kind of like Apex Legends has started to do.
Just do like seasons of content, and there you go. There's your freaking game.
And thank you for listening to this episode of the Rad Gaming Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and rate and subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever else you listen to podcasts. We release a new episode every Wednesday and Friday. And as always, stay rad, comrades.